Hello, this is Miss Chatfield. Welcome to Virtual Curriculum Night. My name is Scotty Chatfield. I'm a 6th, 7th, and 8th grade remote learning special education teacher. And here we go. So just a little bit about me. I was born and raised here in Quincy. I got my bachelor's degree at QU. Then I did my master's degree online through a school in Arizona. This is my 7th year of teaching, but my big passion that I found in all of my 7 years is helping kids with reading. And most of the kids that I have still struggle with reading and just how to put sounds together, how to decode words, and that is just something I really enjoy with teaching is helping older kids with the reading skills that they missed when they were younger. Here is our bell schedule. So if you have a cell phone and want to take a picture of this, here's your opportunity. I did have the kids take a picture of this and or write it down so that if I ever refer to second hour, they know exactly what time that is. So go ahead and take a picture of that if you would like. Okay, so a day in the life of a remote learner. So I can only speak for my class only, but I will say that just keep in mind that your child has 2 periods of reading, 2 periods of math, and 2 periods of writing, other than morning and afternoon advisory. So just going to talk about reading for now, because I can only speak for my class. 1 period is with me on a video call every day. Depending on your child's schedule, most of the times after my class, they go work on MobyMax. Now, I do have a couple classes who actually work on MobyMax first, and then they have me. Just kind of depends on how their schedule goes. So the first 5 minutes of class, I give directions and ask questions. Then we go on with our lesson, and typically, if there's any homework or assignments, I do it with them, or we stay on the call together while they work on it. Oftentimes, I ask them questions. And just to kind of see who all is there and paying attention and engaged, I ask them to send me a private message for their answer. And that actually works really well for these guys. They're pretty good about doing that. And class can be anywhere from 15 to 45 minutes. I tend to spend most of that 45 minutes in class just because I want to give them all the knowledge they could possibly get. Okay, the next part is MobyMax. So like I said, either they're going to have MobyMax before my class or after, as well as all the other classes. Just depends on their schedule. I ask them to do 20 minutes or more a day. And so I assign things on reading skills literature. When they finish all their lessons and assignments in reading skills literature, then I ask them to do paired reading stories. And I am able to see how much time they are spending on that every day. So I kind of try to keep up with them and be like, hey, you're not doing your time. And then all of them are familiar with getting on MobyMax. The easiest way is to go through Clever. So it's just mobymax.com. But if they go through Clever, all they have to do is click the green and white whale and they're in. Expectations for my class. So the first thing is daily attendance is important. I've been telling the kids, even if you have the sniffles, you should still be able to get on school, okay? Because you're already home, so it's not like you have to miss school to not get any of the others, sick or give them a cold or whatever it may be. So it's important for them to be on every day. And I know things come up, and I know there's family stuff and personal stuff, and that's fine. Or they may be actually, too sick to do school. That's fine. Please just call the attendance office and let them know. But why it's important to be on every day, just as school, they may miss something, but now with virtual learning, it's even harder because we may have done something with technology. Let's say they're absent Monday. We might have did something new on Monday, and I really would struggle to find the time to help them. We would have to do it probably after school so that I could help them with what they missed. So it's important for them to be on every day. I try to start the class 5 minutes early. So for example, if class starts at 9:45, I try to open the class at 9:40. Give the kids a chance to come on and chat with me before we get started if they want. First 5 minutes of class, I have dedicated to just giving directions and the kids can ask questions. I can get information from them. Then I have to move on. I have a lot of kids that come in tardy and then they want to know, what are we doing? And I have to take up so much more time given the instructions. So really, truly, I have to stick with the first 5 minutes. And if they come in tardy, they'll have to stay after class if I can and get that information because I have to move on. I'll still help them, but I just can't keep the whole class waiting. So they have to be on time. I try to put up a daily agenda, just kind of like, here's what we're doing for today, especially for absent kids. But I will say I'm a human and sometimes I forget and sometimes things go on and I can't get it on there, but I do really try. The mute button, that's become my best friend these days. So I ask the kids to stay on mute unless they need to talk to me, ask a question, participate, whatever it may be, just because sometimes I don't think we realize that what's going on in the background is that loud, because to them it's not loud, but it amplifies on my screen and the other student's screen. So just even like hearing a TV is really loud on here. So, or fans or air conditioners. So I tell them to stay on mute in case they need to come off, just to keep those outside noises from being really loud. I do not require students to have their video on, but if they are a student who gets easily distracted, this may be something you require them to do as their parent. Like, hey, you need to be on that video so your teacher can watch you. Make sure you're doing what you need to do. And then the last thing, I highly recommend having your child work away from a TV or anywhere there's continuous noise, just because it does affect their being able to hear. And I just want them to have, the most success, be set up for success. So I recommend them having a quiet place to work. Grading, so the 3 areas they're going to get graded on is classroom assignments. Still new to all this virtual learning stuff, so I haven't been able to do a ton of assignments yet. It's very difficult. So I'm still kind of easing my way into assigning things. But MobiMax, we're doing great with that. They do 20 minutes per day for a total of 100 minutes per week. That's if we are at school Monday through Friday. So 100 minutes total. Or like if we miss like a Monday, they'll only be, they'll only have to do 80 minutes. It just depends. 20 minutes a day for how many days we have school. And like I said, reading skills literature or paired reading stories, and that will give them 100 points per week. But if they only did like 56 minutes of MobiMax, they're going to have an F because they didn't do, enough time. So I really like them to do all that time. 15 minutes of MobiMax per day is supposedly going to raise reading levels little by little by little. So it's very important that they do it. And then participation each day, I keep a list of the kids next to me, and as they participate on time, are respectful, I make little dots and keep track of that kind of stuff. So if they're tardy or absent, they don't, they lose a point. Absent is just 0 because you're not doing anything. But they can talk to me. Like if there's a good excuse why they missed, they can talk to me and communicate with me, and we'll figure it out. So they get a point for being on time, being respectful, 2 points for just participating in class, and 1 for completing the work. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but it does add up. So if they're missing, most of their points for a day, they're gonna probably be in the F zone. So it's pretty easy to get those points. They just have to show up, participate, be respectful, do the work. Communications. So if you need to contact me, email is the best way. Skyward messaging is really terrible, so I definitely recommend you email me or call school and ask if they can connect you to my room. I do have teach 5 periods, so there's not a lot of time I can answer the phone, but if you leave me a voicemail, I'll call you back as soon as possible. Or you can get on Microsoft Teams and send me an audio call, and I can answer it if I'm not in class. And then students, same thing. They can email me, they can send me a private message in chat, or they can send me a call on Microsoft Teams. Last thing I have here is just a note that I wrote for you parents, and I just want you to read it. I will read it out loud to those of you who would prefer that. But if not, you can just put me on mute because I am going to read it out loud. So my note to you parents says, parents, I want you to know that I will do anything for your child's success. I am always doing what I think is best for them and their education. There will often be times when I am tough love Miss Chatfield. It is never to be mean, but to make them be the best students people possible. My expectations are high because I am dedicated to seeing kids grow and become amazing people. Some of what we do in my class is not just about becoming better readers, it is learning how to be good people and a good member of society. Good grades and scores are great and all, but being a kind, responsible, trustworthy, honest, and respectful person is the number one thing one should be in life. Grades do not define your child, but showing up for class, doing what is asked of them, being kind, respectful, and helpful to others, and working hard does define a person and will pay off in the long run. So they might not be the best student ever, like what I mean, but as they struggle and they have a hard time, but if they show up and they're doing what they need to do, their grade will reflect that. So it's not all about like being smart and studying lots and lots of hours. Sometimes it's just showing up, being there, being a good person, being respectful. That will pay off for them. Your child may have to work 10 times harder than the average child due to their educational/life struggles. So some students have learning disability here, some have ADHD, some have autism, some have an intellectual disability, some have vision and hearing disabilities. There's a lot going on here in our class, but I look forward to being someone to support them on this often difficult journey through school and life. Love, Miss Chatfield. If you guys have any questions or need anything, please send me an email. I'd be happy to help at any time. And I will talk to you guys soon.